evening, everybody. Welcome to Wizards Outlook. Haven't seen you guys in a while from in this regard. But Washington Wizards had a little bit of news today. I mean, it was a crazy NBA day from a news standpoint, period. It didn't stop this morning throughout the day, like one bit of news and it just steamrolled. But joined as always, we got Raymond Lyons, Cardo Dudley Jr., Wilson Tarpe Jr. And again, welcome to Wizards Outlook. Going to talk about the Washington Wizards parting ways with Scott Brooks. Told you guys, it was the end of his former contract at the end of the season. So it was whether they're going to re-up or they were going to decline it. Clearly, since we're talking to you guys today, you guys see what's at the bottom of the screen. They did not re-up with him. His contract has ended. It shall not be renewed. So I guess Ray and Cardell, Ray, I asked you first just your initial thoughts on it.
Yeah, man, I can't say that I'm surprised, but I don't understand, like what the reasoning was or like what's the plan moving forward. We have been talking at length throughout the season about just everything that the team had been through and how, to be perfectly honest, this year was really kind of a wash, given everything that that the league had been dealing with COVID and all that. And then specifically the Wizards, they probably got hit worse than any other team. And then on top of all the injuries they had, it wasn't much here for Brooks to work with, but yet and still they found themselves in the postseason. They battled the one seed. They lost in 5 games, but nobody expected them to be here, seeing as how things were progressing throughout the year. So I felt like that kind of earned him an extension. Obviously the powers that be felt otherwise, but yeah, man, I honestly think it's a step back, because I don't know how you expect to build anything with no type of consistency or continuity or anything like that. I mean, I know Brooks had been here for 5 years, but a lot of those years had been riddled with injuries to the key guys. So, he just got dealt a raw hand, and now he's no longer here. So, I know a lot of people have been clamoring for this to happen the entire year, but I mean I just want to know what's the direction moving forward. This isn't the Lakers or some desirable location for talented people to come. That's just being perfectly honest, man. This franchise isn't in the best spot to be attracting people. So, you get rid of the guy that's here and, has a rapport with the players. They obviously respond to him, as we've been saying, for them to still be fighting and in tune and engaged with everything that's been going on this year. You can't help but have to believe there's some level of rapport and respect there. So, I mean, I don't get paid to make these decisions, but I hope they got some up their sleeve, because things can get real bleak real quick.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in just a little bit about some of the possible candidates. But Cardell, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with Ray. Like you said, 5 years, 5, 6, whatever he been here. He hasn't had much to really work with. So outside the backcourt, but the backcourt was often injured. They've been trying to fill in the holes with just quick fixes with veteran players and stuff that will come in for like half a season, maybe one season. It wasn't any type of chemistry built yet, but 3 out of the 5, 2 out of the 5, they made the playoffs despite all that. And then you got to look at it like this: 2 of the years COVID related. You know what I mean? It's just I don't get it. And then they played hard. They stepped it up and played hard after all the adversity at the beginning of the season and made the playoffs. Got a game off Philly. And it just, to be real, man, I feel you, man. He was done the raw hand. Now, who knows what the details were? You know what I mean? Maybe he was asking for more control over certain situations, which he should. I want some security. I wouldn't want to keep going through this type of year moving forward, man. I need something, something, there, or or who knows what it is, but not just him, that staff, the coaching staff. When head coach go, oftentimes the assistant coaches, they go too. It's got a lot of people follow the head coach out the door, and it's just like, they bust their ass and help these players develop, find some type of way to win enough games to make a playoff push. Where otherwise, a lot of coaches wouldn't have been able to do it. Let's keep it real. You see what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of coaches out there who had a lot more to work with, didn't quite get the job done, or they had early exits or whatnot. So I just don't really understand it. I know the community clamored to fire them, but they always ain't clamoring to fire everybody. So you can't really pay attention to this area, man. Everybody, they coach something, they think they're experts at, that when we all know from seeing it up close, the NBA is a totally different game. Only, like I said, me and Wilson were talking earlier, the only thing they got in common with the other levels of basketball is, of course, 94 feet and it's 10-foot rounds. After that, the comparison ends. It's a totally different game. It's a totally different business. So, yeah, man, it just kind of gives you the same vibes we kind of dealt with growing up all these years here in the DMV when it comes to the Wizards, man. It's just, what are y'all doing? Mediocre vibes, here we go again, type stuff, man. So, we'll see what goes on, man. But, spotlight is definitely more on, different people, because you can't blame Brooks. John Wall's not here no more. Can't look at Russ, he just got here. So, it's more of a spotlight going to be on Bill, and more of a spotlight going to be on the front office and ownership. And, they don't start getting this thing together now, where there's no excuses, they're going to see what the real DC area is really like when you don't produce. I'm going to leave it at
that. Yeah. For me, it's just one of those things where, like, I know a lot of people are clamoring for it, and that's great. Some Carlos always said in the past, just like regardless of the sport, anytime you're about to move on from a coach or whatever, make sure you got a good plan. And now we're going to see if you got a good plan in place, because let's keep it honest. I don't care who you bring in here. If that roster doesn't change, the results not changing that much, man. So, it's cool that person's out. But again, now the spotlight's kind of shine even more in the front office. So you make sure that you make the right hires and do the right things. And I'm going to bring up some stuff that people might not want to see in a little bit, looking at some numbers, because everyone loves numbers for the type of situation they're in. We talked a little bit this year with, like, no matter who you bring, that first 2 years is key. Because I know, at least if it's me, if you're a coach, we're gonna get to the candidates in a little bit. If you're a coach, like you guys were talking about, as far as this being where it might rank for a destination for potential coaches, you got to keep in part the roster construction, how that plays into it. You're already strapped for cash, depending on what you can bring in, what can go out. Like being honest about what your actual assets really are. And that's the thing. Like, yeah, it's easy to be like, oh, the roster needs to change. How do you go about doing it as it's currently constructed? That's the other thing. It's not video games. It's you have to make some things move. And the problem is, when you have a roster where some folks get paid things that they shouldn't get paid, you got to make other people, like, to get other people to accept those things in a trade, you got to sweeten the pot at times. And that costs you on the back end. So we'll get in that a little bit, but change has been made. I know everyone's all excited. Let's get into some of these candidates. I'm going to list some off real quick. Or actually, I'll ask you guys, who are some of your favorites, and then I'll list them as a whole. Cardell, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Ray.
Well, top of my list is Sam Cassell Jr. Sam Cassell Sr. I keep getting the sign confused. But Sam Cassell, Baltimore native. He was an assistant here a few years back. Matter of fact, I think he started here. He was coaching as an assistant. Hold on, let me look it up. I think he's actually started his coaching career here. Yeah, 09. He started here. I remember when John first got drafted, he was always working with John, trying to get his mid-range right and stuff like that. They would play one-on-one games and all that. So, yeah, he was here even before Wall was here. He was here, I think, when Flip got the job, right after Eddie Jordan probably got let go or something. Or maybe he came in at the end of Eddie Jordan. But, yeah, pretty much every stop he's had ever since then was, the Clippers, Philly, great success. They won games. Obviously, he's a championship winning point guard, all-star point guard, so he knows how to relate to what the strength of this team is with Russ and Bill. He's automatically going to garner respect. He's a native, so obviously, the business side, people want to come out, flock and all that, to support. Uh, and I know he's no nonsense. I know he's about to work because he had to work to have all the success he had. He wasn't the most physically gifted player himself, but he worked and became, man, one of the nastiest mid-range marksman shooting point guards we've ever seen. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Especially in the clutch, he was nasty. I think he's a great candidate. Adrian Griffin for the Raptors. He seemed like he'd been an assistant coach for like 20 years, man. Ain't get a look. Yeah, man, ain't get a look. Don't want a chip, man. Did work in the G League. I'm like, what else a man got to do, man? Former NBA vet, man. Tough nose, hard nose guy. I mean, he knows the league, man. There's a reason why he's been employed that long as an assistant coach. Even though the Raptors have had different guys be the head coach and whatnot. He has tons of experience, man. I think he'd be a good catch. David Vanderpool, you know what I mean? When Minnesota let go the old coach, you saw the name of CJ because he used to be in Portland, kind of advocate for him. Why is he getting the opportunity? Why wasn't he the first guy to get that in the interim space, at least to prove himself? I think he's another guy that they can bring in, and he'll automatically garner respect. Like I said, he had a similar situation in Portland with Dame and CJ, so he know how to communicate with an all-star backcourt to help lead the team. And the MVP candidate in Dame, and you got one here in Bill. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Russ is a former MVP, so I think he'd be a good one. And just a couple of a few other names: Darvin Ham, Jason Kidd, and the best player in franchise history, his son, Wes Unseld Jr. I think he deserves a look. Just being a native here and as well, coming up through the ranks here, he done seen it all, did it all. So I think they should start with those guys.
All right, Ray, how about you for your wish list of candidates for them?
Man, I think Cardell was looking on my paper. I gotta cover my test next time. But man, pretty much all those guys he listed come to mind. For one, I'm gonna just keep it real. I want to see some black faces in these head coaching jobs.
Yeah, no more recycled dudes. Tired of that.
So and all those guys, they're proven. It's not even like that you be taking a chance. These guys have been around the league. They know what they're doing. And and they're deserving, plain and simple. Another guy I was thinking about, I don't even know if there's how much of a possibility it is, but Jerry Stackhouse. I don't know if they would be able to lure him away from college, but I mean he's been around the NBA coaching wise. He was with he has a G League championship with the 905 Raptors. He's another former player, had a great career. Another no nonsense guy. He be able to get the respect and attention of these guys around here. He played here, so I think he would be a good candidate if he's interested. But yeah, man, what I don't want to see is another, like Cardell said, another recycling of the same old names, like people that have had opportunities already. No disrespect to any of them, Mike D'Antoni, Terry Stotts, any of those guys, but they've had their chance. It's time to get some fresh faces in here. And to be perfectly honest, for what this team needs, neither one of them are ideal for this situation. I'll keep it at that. But who I think would be the best candidate, I would probably have to say Wes Unseld Jr., man. Like as Cardell pointed out, ties to the city, ties to the franchise. His dad's greatest player to play here. And his strengths are development and defense, which we know the Wizards need. They're in need in both of those areas. So man, just from a PR standpoint, it would be a great hire, to kind of inject some life back into the franchise. Of course, his dad's name, rest in peace, it rings bells around here, man. So that would be, I think that would be a good look for them. Who knows what this front office is going to do, but yeah, man, it's a lot of great guys to choose from. They're going to have to try to mess this up. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I'm sorry, but I don't know, man. Like they put themselves in a precarious situation for no reason. So So yeah, man. Hopefully they can make the right decision.
How am I supposed to follow that, right?
Okay, let me just say one more thing. Can teams start thinking for themselves, the front office? I don't need a search firm to do this stuff, man. It's basketball. Y'all got all these basketball minds in the building, man. Just have conversations. If you don't know up top, you're a businessman, you don't really understand the game like that. Just have conversation with the people there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the search firms don't know either. It seems we keep seeing the same story. It's a search firm that's consulting another NBA team. They used to consult this team. They consulted the team prior to this, and none of them in a good situation. What sense does that make, man? Hey, come on, man. Boy, I'll tell you. And when did the search firm start? That's a whole other show. Go ahead, Wilson. My
man. It came from it came over from the NFL type stuff. Now you got a lot of NFL folks coming over into the where people crossing over. That's where it came from. So
yeah, that's the
problem. I got your answer for you, sir. Yeah,
that's the problem.
I got you. Yep. I'm already there for you. Yep. Got that immediately. Right away, because it's stupid. Because they do such a good job there. The other the only two folks that I'd probably add to the list you guys added already that would be available. I don't know if they're interested. None of my business. It's two totally different things. Steve Clifford and Kenny Atkinson. I don't know what their interest level would be, but just definitely because of what they've done in the past. And again, two more no-nonsense guys that it's defense first. But again, that's just me adding to the list because you already had a bunch of the same names. I'm not going to go down repeating it. I feel bad that I wasted time typing on my notes. So thank you guys for that. Next time, maybe I'll just go first. So I don't waste my time. Let me just delete what I have. And I guess the last thing we're going to get to, I know some of you guys, let me look at some of the folks commenting. We got a couple Mark Jackson. Folks would like Mark Jackson. Somebody said Pop. Look, that's not realistic, sir. So
Pop what?
Yeah.
Is it Bonsu?
Yeah. Yeah, bro. That's not. All right.
We ain't talking about San Antonio Pop.
I don't think so either. Maybe popcorn.
Not sure. Pop like Danny Glove. I'm too old for that.
Not for this.
Mr. Bonsu got up out of here too.
See?
Yeah, I mean.
So see, y'all really don't know how to act. All right, real quick before we get to the next part of this. From Ooze and Oz, you guys know it's Father's Day. Weekend Father's Day package includes 1 pound of short ribs, 4 pieces of fried whiting, 2 barbecue chicken leg quarters, 1 large potato salad, 1 large baked beans, 1 large coleslaw. All right, so that's $50 without beverages, or $10 more, and it includes 2 cocktails or 4 beers. So that's $60 with 2 cocktails or 4 beers, but that's only available at the Georgia Avenue location. Again, Father's Day package, not a bad time to get that in a little bit early. You know, if you're a father, you know, pass that along. Just, you know, screenshot it, send it through. Look out for yourself. Sometimes you got to make sure you do the right thing for yourself. Make sure you have a great day. All right. Again, who'sandhows.com. We're going to get to some. I know some of y'all commenting, and we're going to get to what I have left. Oh, yeah, the numbers with the roster construction, because everybody's so quick to talk about all the wonderful things you can do. You can't. You're probably going to be in a luxury tax when you think about it. The luxury tax for this team, not good. Luxury tax usually for folks that are paying over because they're already, you know, on the verge of contending and whatnot. So, you know, handy dandy internet real quick, pull up some good stuff. Friends over at Sports Hack. Love their site, by the way. Look, man, it's not a good look at the moment, all right? So as of right now, you $9 million in a hole going into next year. You got a first-round draft pick you got to have room for.
Right.
Again, this is not like I'm not trying to rain on nobody's parade. Just being honest here. Some of the things that you have to consider. These are cap holes.
Still getting paid.
Look, man. Just here to share information. You know what I'm saying?
Ty Lawson.
Look, man. I'm just here to share the information. All right.
Yo,
so these are some of the reasons why I know everyone's like, oh man, it's great, new regime, kind of, sort of, but not really, because like essentially you got 2 years before everything's kind of set the ground zero, and you got some freedom.
Wow.
Unless you find some ways to do stuff, and some of the ways you're going to do stuff means mortgaging some of your future. So again, just some things wanted to share. You know, again, some more. You see that whole practical cap space thing? Yeah.
-12 mil, folks.
Some things are going to have to be done. Again, not saying that you can't do things, but things have to be done. Go ahead.
Howard Isley's another one. I can't believe he was an assistant here. Howard
Oh,
Isley
yeah,
at Michigan. He's another one that you could throw in that pot as well. And just as qualified as all of them. I don't know if he's gonna leave Michigan for this, but yeah, he in a good spot. Jamar, they got a nice ass recruiting class. They got especially if Hunter go back. Yeah.
Like I said, it's my bad, Cardo.
Go ahead. No, he's just another one to pot.
Yeah, and like that's the tough part for me is like some of these other there's we saw a bunch of jobs open up, right? And like yes, having an all-star backcourt, obviously it's a veteran talented backcourt is obviously a good selling point. The problem is when you look at the rest of the roster construction, there's not a lot of room for mobility. And that's the problem there with some of these other places like Indiana or something like that.
New Orleans.
Yeah, like at least with Indiana,
they're ready to go.
Something like that, you can move some things around. Like even if Miles Turner wants to go, people want Miles Turner. You know what I'm saying? Like you can move that and get something back, and like you win said trade. But Washington in position again. Just I'm sorry, Nizzle. Hey, my man was like, let us enjoy this moment. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's our job to be honest and let y'all know what it is, man. Like that salary cap situation is going to play a big role in all this, man. Like it's just going to play a big role, man. Like it definitely is. So I mean, obviously, he said one step at a time. After that, obviously, the first step is hiring the correct coach. The second step is figuring out what you can do with this roster. Because if you run it back as constructed, I mean, there's a cap on it. It doesn't fix the issues. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be tough. Honestly, like that. Right. That's the tough part,
bro. They still out here paying dudes ain't been on the team for years. Shout out to Ernie, man. Ernie, man.
Hey, look, that whole thing y'all saw about on I think a couple weeks ago. The folks talk about consequences organizations. Some things where even if they immediately go, like you're not done. Like what's my man Bobby Bonilla still getting broke off?
Yeah, they don't know. Got a few of them.
But like just because they leave don't mean they all the way done. Like you gotta go follow the string to see if it's really all the way cut. So that's the tough part. It's gonna be interesting. Like you got some youth that you definitely want to help groom or whatever, and there's no reason to repeat everything we said all through during the season. It's gonna be interesting offseason. So I mean,
sure.
Like if you guys have any other questions, give y'all a couple minutes. We'll answer some questions if you want. Or anything you just want us to share. But if Ray, Cardell, you had anything that immediately jumps to mind?
No, sir.
No.
Any other team want to give out a loan? Yeah, Lord, dog.
For real.
Like, hey, look, like I'm not even trying to be mean. Like that's ugly, man. Like it is not a good thing. Like,
yeah.
And it matters because again, if you were a coach, would you do it?
Do what? Take that.
Take the gig knowing that there's limited flexibility from a roster standpoint for at least 2 years.
I would need control. Like for real. Like I'll play let me do what I do. I know said you got your crew, all them to keep. I don't want to hear it. Keep the suggestions. Me and Tommy talk. No, that's the only person. Hey, I'm just serious.
I'm laughing at
if you ain't If you ain't got basketball on your resume in some form, I ain't trying to hear it because I can't do no worse than what y'all. I'm just keeping it
up. Man, this is $12 million in the red for borderline lottery. That's
I'll get hurts, man. Like it's tough, man.
Bro, did I see Ramon Sessions on that show?
Yeah, man. Sessions, Shabazz Napier, Ty Lawson.
Hold on, my bad. Which one is it? My bad. Here you go.
Oh.
Cap holds, yeah.
Jonathan Williams, man. Ian Mahinmi, dog. 23. They just go away, so like, dog.
Oh, that's.
Oh boy, yeah.
Hey, what about what's Fizdale's situation? What are you doing right now?
He's on TV.
I don't know if he wants this stress though.
I don't think anybody wants it.
But look, I think he just had Memphis and New York. He had a couple stops similar. and they
That
ain't
was
give him a
rough
lot
on
of
him.
time.
Yeah,
I think
man.
he like, nah, if I go back,
It's
I
gotta
need
be
something
something
to work
solid.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
All they gonna do is blame me.
Right.
Same stuff.
facts. I
Literally.
mean, it's the truth.
Hey man,
Jesus Christ.
y'all want to hear our Ernie stories, man. We gonna keep that all wax though.
Oh
That,
boy.
that, that
Oh
draft night
boy.
was special.
Things I
That
never
draft
forget
night.
my lifetime. Man,
Man, my man was
man.
sweating for real hard.
I ain't even like, look, man, chill out. I'm trying to be a good, mature human being.
A first
Yeah,
round
but
pick that's no longer here, and a second round pick that didn't even come here over other guys. Everybody was just looking at him. Look, man, he got
look,
mad.
man. Hey, bruh, cash
Born to sweat.
considerations.
Look, man, they're going to be great players. Okay, I was like, I'm just looking at him. Hey, come on, dog. I'm looking at him like, come on, dog. Come on.
I'm trying to tell y'all though, man. Cash considerations just won 6th man of the year. Not even being funny, dead serious. Cash considerations just won 6th man of the year for the Utah Jazz. Gotta love it.
Yeah, man.
Cash
Just
considerations.
give me the job, man. I can't do no worse. Like what?
Look, man,
I,
that's the thing. I'm interested in seeing who they hire. Like, because again, like for the first 2 years, man, that's a tough sell. First 2 years, you can't really move much.
But think about it. You basically got a year to keep Bill here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's it called? It depends if he with the Supermax. You know what I'm saying? Like again, this all gets stupid interesting. But again, you can get traded on that too. So
if he roll, there's gonna be a lot of money back on the books. But still, man, it's just, he leave, you're definitely back. Lottery down, it's over. It starts over again. You see what I'm saying? Now Rui and Denny the guys. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well let Russ go do what he do because he up there. There's no point in keeping him. So a lot is on what Bill decides, man. And it's tough because, like he said, he's seen these other teams. They look at Atlanta. Look where they at. They leapfrog the Wizards, and they're not even healthy. They're gonna get Hunter and Cam Reddish back next year, so they're gonna be even worse. Unless Collins leave, I think he a free agent or whatever. They gotta get that situation, but still, they're gonna be a monster. They got a bunch of young bigs that's emerging. You gotta look at the young teams in the East that are kind of on the verge. Even Charlotte was right there. If Gordon Hayward didn't get hurt, LaMelo didn't get hurt, they would have been in the playoffs. See what I'm saying? Orlando, Markelle, they had them rocking and stuff a little bit, depending on what coach they get. Man.
The Knicks came out of nowhere.
Toronto ain't gonna have another year. They're gonna be back home.
Right.
They're gonna be pissed. They gotta deal with the Kyle Lowry situation. But look here. Oof. Damn, I'm glad you showed that graph. So damn, dog. Shout out to Ty Lawson, great agent.
I just want to show the whole picture because I know everyone gets excited. Everyone is his fans. The coach change. You're like, oh man, we can switch some things around and all that, man. But that's not realistic in this situation. Like in this situation, obviously things can happen, but he asked where Avery Johnson is. I don't have an answer for that.
He's chilling.
Is he coaching in college?
He was doing broadcasting during the tournament. Remember?
Oh yeah. That's
true. Yeah.
J Kidd was with the Lakers, so we know where he's at. Yeah, and he might end up getting old boy's job, so I don't think he's coming here. So it's gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna be interesting, and like we told y'all several times, man, the offseason is gonna be fun to see how they're able to move. I know some folks, there was a couple of reports saying, the person upstairs at the top of the top doesn't mind being in a luxury tax. That said, you want to, it sounds good, but you want to be in a luxury tax for a team that's not that's a couple several steps away. Coming off the pandemic, I don't believe it. I don't.
Ted mentioned paying bread during the pandemic, and he was losing money, but he still had to pay bills. Like if he was making the same, he mentioned that. He mentioned that in the late season presser about it. He mentioned that he's eager to get the things popping back downtown because they can't make money if people not comfortable coming back to the bars and stuff. Downtown around Capital One. So Hell no. Why am I paying extra money for nothing? Like, think about what y'all saying. Like, yo, put yourself in the shoes. It's your money coming out your pocket. And you like, hold on, we got a chance to win? Then why am I just throwing money away? It makes no sense. And I'm looking at Scott Brooks' resume. 3 out of the 5 years he was here, he made the playoffs. You know, I mean, who the last coach? But Eddie Jordan did it. Like, I can't think of the last. Like, semifinals, lost in the first round. Obviously, the 2 years he didn't make it, that's when Wall was injured, and then the pandemic last year.
He said they're gonna hire Becky Hammond. She don't deserve this.
Nah, don't do that. Nah,
she don't
I wouldn't
deserve her
take the
first
job,
start.
dog.
Yeah, she don't deserve her first start to be this.
You
It's a
see,
situation with some flexibility.
free game. You gotta also be careful what job you take.
Yep.
Especially if you're trying to be the first woman coach in the NBA. You gotta have a fighting chance, dog. You can't have a situation where you go to hell and then they can use you as the reason why we're not gonna hire any more,
Right.
Female coaches with WNBA resume. That's what they're gonna do. So hell no, man. Like, when y'all wondering why certain coaches ain't taking jobs or like why ain't they hiring him, he probably saying, "Nah, I'm good. I ain't about to do me dirty. Blame me for this nonsense that's been here." Like, even Stan Van, fine, he may not have related to the players. He gone after 1 year. What can any coach do in 1 year?
Yeah,
I ain't got no answer, sir.
But I mean, like you brought up Sam Cassell. I mean, he's been in pretty good situations, man. Like I like some of the head coaching vacancies that came up. I don't see how they'll be attractive enough to take him from where he was at. You know, so I mean,
New Orleans got promising young prospects, so I could look at that one. Obviously Portland with Dame and all them, they right there. You know what I'm saying? It's just some tough decisions gonna have to be made, man. Because can you win with those guys, man? You know what I mean? So that's why you need a coach that know what the hell they're doing, that's been around the league and understand what needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna come in and make decisions right away, and this thing can get moving a lot quicker than somebody kind of inexperienced and trying to figure it out. But they also got to have the ability to do that. Like, with a new coach, I mean, let's keep it real, man. You know, Jay was burned by Ernie. You know, Ernie said one thing, was a totally complete different thing going on. So, is he as trustworthy as he once was? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's why he built that whole front office that he built. You know, different positions and stuff. So, will coaches come in and have some say, like have real say in what they're doing, or they just managing what upstairs do? Which is what happened with a lot of NBA teams, and they underrun. They like, why are the coaches doing that? Maybe they're, upstairs is making the call. I mean, we saw the Last Dance. What they do with Jordan? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you played 1 second over this amount of time. We said your ass gone. Now you stuck.
I'll answer this real quick question. Somebody asked, how the hell KD didn't make any All NBA team? He ain't play enough games. A lot of people ain't play enough games in the regular season this year.
Why KD ain't make All NBA?
Yeah.
I mean, injuries.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. And like the other joints, so like I'm looking at like just some realistic things, right? So like people that make around the type of money Bertans make, I think they got a trade exception that they could possibly put together with him to move. The only thing I'd be scared of is you might have to throw a pick unless you can find somebody that wants a shooter and needs a shooter that bad. Then maybe that could work. But again, outside of that, you might have to add something to it. And I don't know if it's worth it adding to it. But again, like those 2 years pop up at you immediately because you're thinking about Brad, whatever, because there's so many moving pieces. But other people that in his range, that 15, 16 million, and again, I'm just listing names, not saying these are people you could get, people that you could trade for, or whatever. These are just people in that range right now. Iguodala, Marcus Morris, I'm sorry. Oubre, which he's trying to get paid.
Neither is Marcus Morris. His brother played here. He ain't coming here.
DeJounte Murray, who's probably not leaving the Spurs organization. Will Barton, Thaddeus Young, Patty Mills, Terrence Ross, Marcus Smart, not leaving Boston, Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, JJ. Like that's the type of folks within like incomparable ranges, right? Again, all I'm trying to do is share information because last thing I want to do is everybody getting super excited, like, oh, we can go out and get whatever. No, you can't. You are shopping on an extremely limited budget unless you start throwing in some extra things. I mean, mortgage in the future, Also got to remember, you also sent a 1 in that trade for Russ. When John left, Russ came. A 1 left out the door. You got to keep that in mind too. Can you afford to give up another 1 or something, knowing that you don't have one? So, it will be interesting. But appreciate y'all getting on here tonight, hanging out with us for a little bit. Just like any other time, if we have a Wizards Outlook, throughout the offseason, it'll be scheduled on YouTube pages. I know a lot of you guys already follow the Finance Magazine YouTube page. It'll be scheduled, so just look out for it. Subscribe, get the notifications, all that good stuff, man. And we shall see. But y'all enjoyed tonight's playoffs. Right now, Philly's smacking the heck out of Atlanta. We got another game tonight too. But get at y'all very soon. Next time the Wizards have some news.